Sunday, April 10th, 2022. Nathan from Queens, Ultimate Traders on Reddit. So I want to hit you guys with 3 videos. Before I do hit you with 3 videos, I want to apologize first because this is going to come off pretty bad. But listen, I've been trading for almost 30 years. Why does that matter? Because I basically seen everything. When I see things over and over again, it's just a repeat and it just keeps happening again and again. A lot of retail has come post-pandemic when it was zero commissions, everyone's home trading. So a lot of the players that are in this game don't really know what's going on. And I even had a dispute with my generals. My elite team has about 30 people. We talk mainly on WhatsApp throughout the trading day. So I even had a dispute with some of them. So mainly, when the market came out in the late 1800s, now the 70s, 100 years from now, 200 years from now, 300 years from now, 400, 500 years from now, you get the point. The market will never change. Unless the rules change, the market will never change. So I'm trying to apologize because a lot of people say this time is going to be different. The only difference from now, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, or pre-pandemic is the speed. The extremes that the market goes up and down, and the extremes meaning how high it goes, how fast, and how low it goes, and how much it drops, different speed. Why? Because people are able to communicate. Retail is connecting with each other through social media. So the only difference is the speed and the extremes on the way up and the extremes on the way down. The stock market will never change. Remember, you can see my previous videos, read up on my briefings. This is an auction. This is an auction. What we can do as retail. So even Bob Pisani on Friday on CNBC was saying pre-pandemic daily retail volume from retail traders was about 15%. And right now it's close to 22%. He said that on Friday. I believe when the market is bullish and the market is up, retail is between 25 and 30% of daily volume. And on a hot tickers that retail likes to trade, like AMC, GameStop, retail could be 50% or 75%. So they move those tickers. But this is why the stock market will never, ever, ever, ever change. This is an auction. Supply and demand. If retail goes together, what do? We affect demand. We buy shares. The problem is while we're buying shares, the big holders of the shares of the companies, generally the insiders or big banks or big entities that own shares. So when we bid it up, what do? They sell. So they throw shares into supply, affecting supply and demand. Another reason why it will never ever change 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 years from now. Retail apes keep bidding up companies that do not make any cash. I'm going to do a second video on stock splits. You guys keep bidding up stuff like GameStop. GameStop after hours, when they had absolutely atrocious earnings, was $73 in after hours. All right. So Ryan Cohen, who's a billionaire, spent $10 million buying GameStop. Mind you, he owns 12, 13%. He owns over $1 billion worth of GameStop. So $10 million buy is nothing. So he pumps it. When the stock rises, they're actually trying to see if they could do a split. They already have authorization to do 300 million shares. Right now, they have less than 80 million shares. They don't need an authorization to do a billion. But we're not going to go into that. That's the next video. But see, the stock went up, and they're finding ways as a company to raise cash. So what does that mean? So, so when the company or insiders hold majority of shares and dump into retail, pumping the stock up, that's pretty bad, right? But at that time, when they're selling, insiders are selling. I was just taking a look at Tesla insiders today. Atrocious. Pages and pages and pages of insiders just dumping every single day. Everyone inside of Tesla does not care if Tesla as a company makes money. Why? They got one person, not even a major executive at Tesla, sold $40 million in Tesla stock the last 30 days. Do you think that person cares if Tesla goes bankrupt? The person made $40 million on the sell of shares. This is not FUD. April 10th, take a look. Take a look. $40 million. That's a shill company as Tesla. But we're not going to go into that. But that's very, very important. Because like I said, the game will not change because insiders are dumping while retail is pumping. They are dumping. And what is worse? What is worse is when a company prints. Why? Because when a company prints, before they print, like right now, we understand that GameStop has about 78 million shares available, right? Now, when GameStop decides to split, they've already said in the SEC filing, this is not FUD. They already said when they do the split, they are printing shares. Printing shares. So what does that mean? That means even they're finding a sneaky way to tell retail to bid it up. And while it gets bidded up, they were going to dump and print brand new shares into the market. So you tell me, how is this time different? The reason why it's a little bit different now, because retail, the apes are not too bright, and they keep bidding up stocks. This past week, a lot of retail, even on Ultimate Traders, were pumping 2 or 3 low flow stocks. What did those low flow stocks do? They printed shares. Two big companies, not big companies, but 2 companies this past week that retail was pushing printed brand new shares. And I went to Ultimate Traders, the daily plays, and said, watch out, company is printing shares. So because of that, the market will never ever change. When you try to bid up a company that is worthless, that does not have any value, the company does not have any value if it can't make money. Think about that. Just sit back and think about that, because that's the truth, okay? If you own a pizza store or you own a store that sells drinks, okay? If the company does not make money, how is it going to pay employees? Luckily, these companies are public. And when they're public, this company selling bubble tea can sell shares, nothing to do with the bubble tea. And if people are bidding up the shares of this bubble tea company, the bubble tea company is going to be like, wait a second, we cannot make any money, but let me sell these shares. And then they shaft the retail. So because of that, this game will never, ever change. Not now, not 10 years from now, not 50 years from now, not 100, not 200. Never. All right? Never. The only thing that changes are the players in this game in the stock market. The people coming in and trading every day is going to be different. And because now retail is 25 to 30% of daily volume on a green day, they're dummies. They're dumb. I'm sorry. I'm retail also, but most of us now are dummies because we're bidding up companies that do not make money. So when it gets bidded up, what do the people that own more shares than us do? They sell into us. And what did we do? We don't even care. We bid it higher. So basically, I am sorry. The market will never, ever change unless the SEC says that insiders cannot dump on us. Or the company cannot sell new shares only with this, then the market will change. But that should never happen. Why? Because a company goes public to raise cash. They go public so insiders could dump. And because we're making a lot of companies that are worthless go up, they're just going to keep dumping. That's not going to change. what retail can do, retail can pivot, get smart, and buy companies that won't shaft retail. All right. So first video, the market will never ever change unless the rules change. What insiders can't dump every single day, the market will never ever change.